Alright, welcome back to another Iron Teeth, whatever playthrough, walkthrough, whatever of the Galaxy map. We are dealing with a current problem of keeping the bad water in this area. Obviously, we're going to be dealing with a drought, so it's not something we're going to have to be hard-pressed for in the near future, at least, anyway. So we'll be able to hopefully get up our water in that time, and then along with possibly our population. That way we're able to actually make some planks, get our log population a little bit back up. We do have areas where, yeah, we're kind of lacking just a little bit, but I mean, in all intents and purposes, I think we're doing just fine. We did last episode expand our soybean farm, corn and kohlrabi cassavas, and then our kohlrabis are looking mighty fine. Our blueberry farm over here is still intact, so we're able to draw blueberries in that aspect for our advanced breeding pods. We do have, for the most part, we're about halfway full over here, which I mean I can live with. That's not necessarily a bad thing. We're almost full of that, which I mean is a good thing because we do need to up our metal intake. Sorry about that. For anybody that doesn't have a beard, sometimes that is a problem. Anyway. Let's go ahead and add to this. Alright, so I think how do I want to do this? Actually, we're going to do this because it doesn't make sense to do it this way. But it does make sense. Do it this way. Come out down over here. And alright, well, work with me real quick. We're going to go on a little adventure. I think right there will be good enough. And that will, one, give us that'll give us enough. Ooh, hello. Didn't expect that. Anyway, that'll give us something to build, and it'll also give us a little bit of speed coverage over here, so that then we can once again expand and kind of bring everything home as far as traveling to like our new beaver paradise, as it were. And they should be able to build all that, and then we can come over here, all that, and then yeah, that will work out just fine. Yeah, that'll work out just. We'll have. Oh, sorry. Alright. My bad. Alright, that'll work out just fine. We'll have this. It'll be able to bring us all the way over here. Maybe we destroy a little bit of this, or we'll have a little bit of an area here to maybe do some storage for like food and whatnot, so that then we have that going on for us. Didn't realize that we're in 1x speed, but you know, to each his own. And then that'll help with that. Now that this is built, we need to get that and build this up. It would definitely help us if I could see. So we're going to build this up like that, and hopefully that will keep this over here. Because at this current point in time, I really don't care about this area. This is kind of designated our bad zone, so I have no idea what I was saying because my dog decided that now was the best time in the world to literally drink 6 gallons of water. So, hey, I think we have some good news. Before that starts, all of that is online. Let's make sure we open that up so that we can get this going. That still works during a drought. Alright, good deal. So, everything's looking like it's supposed to, and this will definitely help us. And this is kind of my whole point, is I'd like to get this up and going so that then we maybe even go over to the other side, and then we'll just have a big massive beaver whatever palooza over here of birth tanks and all this other stuff. And then that way, once our population actually gets to where it needs to be, then we can back these off, pause them, whatever, to where we have just the right amount to keep our population where we want it to, because I feel like that's our biggest issue. I'll close that. And because I feel like right now that's our main struggle point, is getting everything to where we can actually have a sustainable area. But they are working on that. Let's make sure that that is picked up. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. I would like them to actually take care of a few other things, but I mean, we don't really have any priority levels, and not connected. There. Maybe that will help out, because I had that attached to the back side of it, so maybe now that it's actually where it should be, in the past they're all hooked up, maybe now we'll actually get in here and start being able to do some stuff here. That also being said, this number's going down. These baths are seeming to work. I might, because do these take power as long as they're not being used? I don't think that's how that works. I think if they're being used, then they're taking power. If they're not being used, then they're not used. I would like to think of it in that aspect. So we're going to drain this dry like we normally do, and then hopefully that'll give them time to put all these TNTs in here. What are we messing with? I think those are 2. And then I thought, well, we might as well had it. Unlock this, to unlock this, and to unlock. And we can just hook up to that. Yeah. Right now there's just a lot of, we're doing a lot of building and connecting to certain areas to get resources out of the way, because I felt like, I mean, it's kind of needed in an aspect to get those. There we go. Guess it helps not doing it during an autosave. And then that out, knock those out, and then just for hindsight, we'll do these and we'll go across like that. And that'll kind of give us a pathway to get everything and put where it needs to be. Then once we get rid of this metal statue and this one, then we'll kind of start focus on inside the map, because at this current point in time there's really no need to like try to build something else when our things are working. And then I'm gonna wait for this to get built, the centerpiece, because like I said, I don't know if this is gonna work. Hopefully it does. If it doesn't, then I need to go back to the drawing board, because I really don't want to make this thing like 200 feet high just to hold in this one little area for whatever reason is not being helpful. But yeah, if we can get this built up here, then we can start. I want to make sure, yep. And just to help with all of this. Then once everything's, so once we're up here, that tree's gone, then we'll be able to start moving a little bit better. I've also thought about, we don't need this right here, this little crook, and then basically destroying this, making this another tree farm, because we need, ooh, they did build it, sweet. What do I want to do? Had an idea. We can, alright, so we're gonna make that, I'm gonna come in and fix this, but we're just making it to where the beavers can get to where they need to get to. Maybe not, but anyway, we'll do that, and then we're going to come in, clear cut all of this junk. Ooh, don't like that. We'll make sure that basically this whole thing is clear cut, and then we'll probably end up coming up here, so I'll make sure that clear cut. But this is more or less going to end up being a I'm gonna go down 2 levels here. Actually, I think we only can go down 1 level. The 1 level down here, we're going to eventually do weird little building things, but then we're going to come in and I'm going to, it should be fine, but my problem is I want to be able for it to hold water, so we'll end up building like maybe some planks right here even with it, and then doing some sluices to fill this up, and then yeah, just so we can hold water in there. Hopefully that will be good enough. And I'm doing it down there mainly for the reason of that's the deeper part. I can come in here and I could probably make this deep, but that'd be a whole lot of TNT. We've already kind of dropped a lot of TNT. and I don't think that they can reach right here. So let's demolish that. And that'll work. I'm not too worried about those two little pieces. They ain't gonna do much harm. And I like it. That'll give us an extra little bit of water there, and we'll desperately need that. At this current point in time, there's no need to have all of these available or even being fueled up, so we'll just let those be paused. What are we looking at? We have 21 free jobs, 17 beds. So we're getting into the point of, and how are we doing on food? We're doing excellent on food. I think we'll start doing even more better. More better, even a word. I don't think that's a word. But we'll be in a better spot once we're able to actually get these two online. And refilling our eggplant rations. And that will give us all the food we need. And I think that would cover all the food that we have minus these hydroponic gardens, because one of them takes 40 water, and that's 192 hours for 45. And another one takes 60 water for 288 hours. And that's for 70. So it's not like they're really producing a whole lot. I guess I could check on the output. So we'd need a food factory for, I think, the fungus algae, and then one algae will make 6. So we went back to this 70 times 6, 0, 142, I believe. We'd make 142 every 288 hours. That'd take 25 minutes. And then we'd need food processor. So for 4, we'd make 16, so we'd double that. And so for that would be 10. Right? Oh no, I'll break that math down, but my point being is it just doesn't seem very worth it to make the hydroponic gardens, because it doesn't seem like it pays out the way that you'd want it to pay out, I guess. And so with that being said, it's just it makes it a little bit difficult to go, yeah, let's do it, because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Me anyway. How are we doing over here? This looks like that is fully built. Like I said, if this stops this from going, then we're going to go full bore into the, but I think we built this up high enough to where that should no longer be really a problem, in all honesty. And I'm still waiting on this. I want to get a couple of cycles under our belt before we start going, maybe what we should do and what we shouldn't do, kind of thing. You guys pump that dry, so there's no need to keep you guys working there. You guys can go back into the workforce. Alright, so we have 18 jobs, 18 free beds, and then at this current point in time, once we start moving, I want this to actually be built before I start actually building houses and what have you. up here and then doing the TNT stuff and all that other junk. I'd like that to be built, set up, and functioning. And then we will eventually come in and attach this to this one, so then we have one giant loop and beavers are able to get to pretty much every little spot that we have designated for them. You have the main town where you can get to all your little industry things. You have over here, which kind of helps you get to, you know, this little spot over here. In this industry area, didn't want to walk. I mean, you're gonna have to walk regardless, but you get what I'm saying. Let's go ahead and pause all this because this is pretty much pointless, and then we're gonna play these. Play. I want to make sure these are all functioning the way I want them to. And then I'll get that water going, and I mean, eventually, like I said, once we get to a bigger population, these ones will be turned on and off. These ones can stay going the whole time. I just need to start figuring out how to get this to... Oh, that might be the problem. Just have that open. And this one can be closed. And that one can be at... That's the problem. And we'll leave something like that. Maybe that'll work. Hopefully that will do what we're trying to get it to do. Let's make sure we got bad water going on under here. We can turn that on and let that fill up just a smidgen. But I like how this turned out. This seems to be a very good idea. Extracting blueberries. Probably need to make this a hauler priority so that everybody gets what they need. And if it's a hauler problem, they'll make sure that everybody's taken care of. Oh man, that is somewhat annoying. There's probably a hotkey for that and I just don't know it. Alright, now that we got that taken care of, everything else, that should no longer be anybody else's problem. And I honestly don't know where they're putting all this bad water, but they're pumping. And then you have obtain. We'll send you out, and it's all to fill up this one, and then that'll work. Alright, so this drought isn't actually doing that much damage to us. Good. Kind of what we want. Bad tides. Ever since I built that tunnel was such a bad idea. I wish someone would have stopped me and told me that that was a bad idea and we shouldn't have done that. But it is what it is, and alright, we'll get that pumping, that filled up. Once that gets full, chip that out. And yeah, I'm okay with that going down because we got these things in there and they'll keep 90% of this green. And at this point, if anything dries out, then it's not even a big problem. We got that built. Now we need to start working on this sucker. Okay, they're starting to put the platforms in, so yeah, we're gonna really start to go through platforms here in a real quick second. If you watch that number's dropping like a rock. And this is also gonna take some planks, but I think everything else we're pretty much set on. So that's a good deal. That's a good deal. Do you even have any gear? You're moving. You got to. Let's prioritize that by haulers. Move you in there. Hey, we're more populated or more. I don't know. I don't even know if you're necessary at this point. But what I was getting at is we're more. Got more workers than I thought we had. So there's good news. Let's unpause this one just to get him going as well. Do have a lot of water pumpers going, but at this same time we really don't have a whole lot of water. I might focus on that during our next good tide, is not really caring what else we have going on. Alright, so we're getting to the point of actually almost being able to have all these jobs filled, or at least the ones that we're looking at. And why you are paused, because that doesn't make sense, which is extremely good news for us. That'll make us a little bit more efficient at what we're trying to do here. And I think it's time that one. I don't know if that yet. We will make this somewhat, hopefully, effective. And if we delete this, come in here and this one there. And now we're just gonna leave that as it. I want to make sure, yep, we got it all. Alright, and then for the time being, we're going to put it kind of like that. Let's come in here, get that going, and then that'll allow us to put another storage tank, a large storage tank, right here. And I know it doesn't need to be this whole section, but then it'll just kind of allow us to do a little bit of extra stuff. This isn't necessarily a must need at this current point in time. I am going to get them going so that we can get a little bit of water coming from this. But it does look like right now they're mainly focusing on getting all of our platforms in place to where then the tunnel pieces are pretty much straightforward. We may need to work a little, I mean our wood's fine, it's more of just getting these guys going. I mean our power supply, like so, we might need one more engine. One more engine might do the trick. And I mean, at this current point in time, I don't see the need maybe add anything else. I feel like this pretty much sums up everything that we'll ever possibly need power-wise, even with these my math wrong, 5 tanks over here. Like I said, I don't know if these take water as long as they're not being used. I think that's pretty much them being turned off. Oh, we actually have beavers that need jobs now. How do you like that? Oh, and they're fully pumping. All right. We are finally in a good spot. And then I think we can come over here and start adding a few more haulers. We'll add 10 haulers just to get that going, but we can have all these pumpers going. We're definitely going to feel like at this point in time we should have no problem fixing our water problem. Oh, and we have 10 beaver sleeping outside. So it might be time to start. We're gonna go to 1 time speed just to get this kind of put in, and then yep, he should be able to reach, and then we can put another tree hauler correctly right there, and that will get that going. Yeah, once this is built, how do I want to do this? We could do some storage over here. That would get, actually first things first, we're going to come in right here. Might be a little bit unorthodox, but we'll square this out. We're actually going to put this right here, so this is a perfect square. Because at this point, I don't think we're going to need this pathway, but then we can come in with like some storage stuff, and oh, that's almost, you know what? How about we do this? Put that there, and then get rid of, if I hit the right button, get rid of this. And then we can come into storage right here. Put that there, and then we can open that up for water. And then we'll have those. This can be corn ration. This can be eggplant ration. And then this one can be I'll have soybeans. Alright, I need to, oh, if only would fit, but you know what? We have, and we can make this ugly for a second just so that we get that going, and all of. And that being said, then we can come in here, put this at high priority, get that going, and then once that's going, well, then we'll segment right here, and yeah, and then we'll have like a food. This will be where the food is stored, water will be stored, all that fun jazz. Probably need a metal place for the time being. Alright, now we can get this. And both of the little segments right here. Now go into storage. And bam. Alright, so this one was soy. That's the ration. Then we can come over here. So we had eggplants, open that one up, and then there we go. And then this will be basic. We'll hit obtain on all of it. Oh, those are expensive. Look at that. I didn't realize those were that expensive. And then we'll have this be up to that. And then we can start coming in over here. How do I want to do Housing. Probably didn't put that where I wanted. Nope. Did not put that where I wanted it. So we'll put that there. Come across here, put this here. Put this here. This. Then we come across here. Get rid of that. Housing. Bam. Bam. And how many do these hold? Hold 16, so 16, 6, 7, 142. And this should hold our population for the most part. I think that will hold our population. And then we can, once we get this going, then yeah, we'll get metal disappearing. That'll just be a massive build. But I'm liking how that's looking. For the most part, we got all of our pipes going where they need to go. We just need to fix some ups and downs. Then they'll start being able to come up over here and start building this utopia. Once that's done, then we'll be able to delete. We're almost at the point where deleting these is probably in our best interest. And then we can come in and probably before it's too late, come in and, I don't know, connect this in some weird jacked up way so that everybody's connected. You know what I'm saying? And we have 6 jobs opening. I'm just gonna leave these at full mass. Those will play, those will pump, and then that should be able to get us to where everybody is 100% on water. And yeah, we're pretty much full on that too. We'll let that pump up. But yeah, we'll be able to get rid of these houses. That'll be a plus. That'll open up some more space over here. Like I said, once we start getting some of these trees gone and all the other stuff, maybe we start demolishing some of this space right here. Have stuff to get rid of it. Maybe not. With you guys going, 2 of you, 2 of you. Takes a little bit more than an hour to get that going. I mean, you would think, right? Might as well, right? What the heck? We'll do that. I don't even know if I can get up there. Yes, we can. And then that's 1, 2, and we should be at this level. Alright, and then we'll knock that down, and I think that math adds up to where that 1 would bring it down to this level. 2 would bring it. One, bring it down to here. Alright, we'll see how that works. Alright, so I did a quick calculation, I did some math, and this 2 should be where I want this. And that should work out just fine. So, hopefully that works. If it doesn't, then we have the 1 TNT and everything should fill itself out momentarily. And we're about to go through a buttload of wood, so get ready for that. This guy can reach every, go up to here, which doesn't really do a lot of good for me, but we'll get that going, and then we'll start demolishing this and figuring out where all this plays out in. Water should start flowing here momentarily. We should be fine. Trying to get some areas chopped down. This guy's coming in with this wood. We're getting this wood going. Probably don't necessarily want to do this, but at this current point in time, we need a little bit more space, and instead of collecting all of the, we're just going to do something like that and just get all this junk out of the way. And then we're going to come in and everything should be wonderful, beautiful. So I'm not going to do that. Delete that. Yeah, we need these and get them and place what I want to place down, then brand, and we'll, I can't even go over here because I have to do that. Yeah, that looks annoying, but guess what? It'll get us to where we need to, and then we can go from there. And we have to build one. As long as that pathway is hooked up, go that way. Alright, so we got some stuff that we're building, stuff that we're working on, stuff putting into effect. Might as well play these guys, our original water pumps. Get them crack-a-lacking. Let's make sure all these guys have haulers on. Those ones should be good. We have 5 jobs that need to be filled, and we are doing an amazing job at it. I mean, that's, I guess, a personal opinion, but yeah, we're doing great. We'll pause this because I don't like it when the do that stupid stuff. Because if I delete it, then they'll leave it there, and then no one will get it, and it's just, it's, see how that's annoying. Let's focus on some well-being stuff. We have the science, we might as well get some of this going so that when the time is ready, a wind tunnel, that would be interesting. Alright, so we got all this stuff unlocked. Some of it's going to require power, so we'll build a wood shaft thing over here. But Yeah, I think it'll be important to once we, let's play that. Once we level this down, we'll be able to kind of maybe build some stuff over here and get that kind of squared away to where we can add some of this other whatever unique items as they were. But we're going to get this built. I'm not too worried about the housing. Start dealing with that. Bring down our happiness, but like I said, I'm not too terribly worried about it because we'll have water being transferred over here. We have all these pumps going, all that fun jazz. Let's actually demolish that so that we can then come in here and place that. It's been a while since I hit that button. Anyway, so then we can build water here. There's obviously a way to get to this. They can get the water, then transport it down over here, fill this up, and then when the beavers grab a bite to eat, some water, and head to their respective jobs. Like I said, I'm going to eventually want to tunnel this out, tubeway this out over here, because before we run into a problem, I'm going to pause because we are about to start overpopulating everything, and we don't need that at this current point in time, especially when we're doing such a good job of everything else. And then once we start running into problems again, we can play that and then get caught up pretty quickly, because obviously we have that's at 10, that's at 10, that's exactly what we want. So once everything gets, I think, balanced out, especially with us building over here and getting these houses set up, obviously it looks like they're going to take care of some of these other things, which, I mean, it is what it is. Does look like, I mean, they should be able to start cutting all down. Yep, there we go. Oh, let's make sure we have that tree going, and then those trees. At this current point in time, we might as well just cut down this whole lot over here. Let's add a couple of more flags, and we'll just do that there. We'll clear cut this all down because I don't think right now we're using much of the pine resin, which we have a huge mother truck in the so let's actually get some of these. We need 3 jobs, but this isn't going to last us very long, if I'm being honest. Path this out. Obviously, we got bigger problems than that, but for the time being, it's going to be a. I want to say knock this down to a 2. Should work. 1 on this one. That should make this all be flat, so then we can come in with the extra pieces that we need and all that fun jazz. So hopefully that'll work out. That'll be kind of what we need going on. How are we doing on food? Food's excellent. Water is been spectacular, considering the fact that we have more of it than we probably have ever had in our entire beaver lives. I mean, we still haven't reached what we have at the Folktale faction, but I mean, we have 4 spare jobs, and I mean, I'm okay with those at this current point in time because we are crushing it everywhere else. We could do with a little bit of encouragement in some other areas, but I mean, for all intents and purposes, we're doing a pretty good job. I think this can hold TNT, so we might as well put TNT in there, because we are only having 75, and I'm pretty sure that's what is being held in here. Or I think we have a little thing right there, yeah. So might as well open that up so that we can then start putting TNT in there, because we need it. What is crazy is we haven't been able to... Oh, we're just now getting over this hump, I think. Oh, maybe go up to 9 to help us out a little bit, because over here we haven't gotten any water. And we have all these pumps, so we might there we go. So we've started to get a little bit of water going over there, which is nice. We have a beaver working here, we do. Prioritize hauler. And get that jazz going. Alright, I'm liking it. It's looking good. We're about, like I said, we're about to get a whole bunch of room back, because these houses are going. We're going, yeah, we're moving far away, and that's just how that's going to be. And like I said, we're getting water over here, which is nice. We're starting to get some food over here, which is better, because it will cause us to actually grow our other items that we have. It'll cause us to grow. That's one thing that I've started to learn, is that once you've maxed out on certain items, it is important to keep that going, because if you don't, seriously, we'll unpause a few. Maybe find bigger. Alright, we'll let those go for now. We'll let those go so that we can get a couple of extra, because I didn't realize that we had paused. Might as well try to max out our water, so that then we don't have to necessarily pump as much during those handed. Because we've had water tanks up here that haven't really ever been full. Like, some of these have been full, but that one's full. We're now shipping water over here, because that's actually the closest one that we got. But hey, this is actually starting to turn out pretty nicely. It's starting to look pretty nice. In all intents and purposes. We might even need to put a couple of blueberries over here, just to kind of help that along. Yeah, if we can get some of these filled up, then we'll get food over here, we'll have water, then we can start building some of these houses that obviously have not been... Oh, I guess pathways would help. Pathways would definitely help. Yep, that looks better. And then if we needed to, we could then put planks right here and get another 3 going if need be, but I think we'll be okay. Our wood did take a hit, but like I said, that's not something I'm necessarily too concerned about. Looking exactly the way I wanted it to. Minus, like, I mean, we've definitely worked really hard to get that pop back up, and our water production has really started to show it, because, like I said, we got water for days. We got metal, or I don't know, whatever you want to call those things. Yeah, once this is built, once this little beaver paradise is built, we'll get rid of the houses, like I've said 200 times. And then we'll focus on the next string of construction, which is probably in our best interest to somewhere right around here. Of course. I ain't trying to make a zigzag pattern. But it looks like in not really gonna have a whole lot of actually options because that needs to come over here. And then we can do this. Not annoying at all. I think 2 would be okay. And we need 3. Probably be best if we went to this camera angle because yeah, building these is not my favorite. Necessity, but not my favorite. Okay, sweet. Alright, here we go. Stretch. Possibly. So, let's get rid of that one. And we're gonna zoom here. That. Oh, great. Alright, I'm just gonna put all this in and then we'll figure it out in this. Alright, now let's come back in here and make the deletions. Where's that button at? Alright, yeah, not my favorite pastime, I can say that much. This one. Camera. I think for the part that it is all set. What that business. That looks good. Not looking. That should. Alright, we whizzed over here real quick. Sorry, this flat, like you wouldn't literally taken me an hour and a half to do 20 minutes of recording here. Family's not helping my situation right now. Anyway, let's get this going so that those can built. Start taking over this area. This is the day of expansion. So we're starting to get houses over here. We're starting to get fully loaded. Oh. Okay, so these houses are not fully loaded. So at this current point in time, maybe start deleting some of these. Alright, we'll start deleting some of those and start making them look a little bit better. But anyway, until that, happy day. Which doesn't really seem that far off, in all honesty. We have a couple of houses going up. We're working on it. This, I don't have any expectations of being built fastly. Before the next episode airs or whatever, I'll do my map fashion and I'll probably make a whatever platform thing that goes across here so that the beavers can get to the platforms and start building this up, so that then we have one pretty much giant tunnel circle, because in all honesty, if the beavers work over here, they literally have to go the whole length of the map around just to get back over here. So having this will give multiple directions, hopefully help everybody out. But anyway, we'll have the food. We already have the food, but we have the drought going on. Our next issue, this wall's up high enough to where we shouldn't have contamination issues. It should just be figuring this out. Maybe come in and build another Segway or something, like I said, but we haven't been able to test this topper. If it works, then great. We're going to go down the line and then top this whole thing off to keep this contamination water where we want it to, and then just have it flow easily out of there, because there should be no reason that we're having water flow all over this mountain. But if you made it this far and you like what you saw, please leave that like, thumbs up, all that fun jazz, and I will see you guys next time. Later.